This is my Upper East Side, New York City bedroom studio. Okay, so it's not really in my bedroom, it's in the living room, but in New York, there's not really much of a difference. Let's take a look at how I've optimized my space to be the ultimate creative setup, or at least the best I could do in a New York City apartment.
Let's start with the centerpiece of the entire setup, this 6-foot long standing desk. Now, if you saw my first setup video, you'll know this is the same desk that I built when I was living in Chicago, and I didn't think I'd be able to keep it coming to New York because, let's face it, New York is not known for being spacious, but somehow the apartment we got has this perfect cutout recessed area, and the desk literally fits perfect in it. So I took it as a sign to keep it, and I'm also obligated to say a huge thank you to Nicole, who's filming me right now, for allowing me to have such a large setup in our living room.
Now, for the brains of this entire setup, I use my 2019 16-inch MacBook Pro, and this is the base model i7, and I pretty much got it right when they came out, so it is starting to show its age a little bit, especially when you compare it to the new M1 Pro, M1 Max, or heck, the M1 Ultra. I've actually thought about upgrading to the Mac Studio just because of how affordable it is for the power you're getting, but for now, this does the job, and I'm fine with that.
So my MacBook sits on this stand from 12th South on the back of my setup, and the entire thing is running through one cable. This powers my monitor, this is charging, this is all of my hard drive connections on the bottom, except for my working hard drive that's plugged in right now. And this took a long time to do, but I'm telling you, working with one cable rather than 4 like I was doing in Chicago is definitely the way to go. Saves me a ton of time. And now let's move on to my monitors.
That's right, they're called monitors, not speakers. A lot of people do get that wrong, but there is a difference. That, however, is for a future video, so if you want to see that, go ahead and subscribe now. I have the KRK Rocket 5 Gen 3s, and I've had these monitors for almost 6 years now, and honestly, they still sound great. No, they aren't going to outperform higher-end Genelecs, but there's a reason so many people use them, and you get used to all of their flaws over time. Now, if I were starting over today, I'd probably go with a more expensive pair like some from Atom Audio, or even the iLoud MTMs have caught my eye, but there's no denying that if you're looking for the best bang for your buck, the Rocket 5s or the Yamaha HSM 5s are the way to go. The one thing I ask is that you do not go with 8 or, God forbid, 10-inch monitors. These are going to be way too big for a home studio or bedroom setup, and you're not going to get accurate sounds. Stick with 5 inches and you won't be disappointed.
All right, so next let's move on to microphone and headphone. Well, I guess I should probably start with the interface. I use the Audient Evo 8, and I absolutely love this interface. Like, love it.
If you're a solo creator especially, there's nothing on the market better for the price. The automatic gain staging, artist mixes, loopback, and computer controls, it's just amazing. I've had mine for about a year now, and to go over everything I love about it would take its own dedicated video.
For my microphone, I have the Shure SM7B, and I just have it on an Amazon boom arm. It's running into a cloud lifter that's mounted under the desk, and there's a reason everyone uses this microphone. It is such a warm tone, but it still captures enough high end to where if you know how to EQ properly, you can get basically any sound you want out of it. For headphones, I have my tried and true Audio-Technica, the name is always really long, ATH M50Xs. I've had these headphones for probably 6 years now, and I replaced the ear pads with these leather memory foam and velour ones. Velour? Which one is it? Velour from a company called Brainwaves on Amazon. They were like $20, and the quality of life improvement is 100% worth it. I would probably do this on a new set as well, because it makes it so much more comfortable. Let's see, keyboard and mouse, pretty boring. Apple Magic Keyboard, and then the Logitech MX Master 1 with the D-click scroll wheel. Yep.
And now for keyboards, I have the Complete Control S61 Mark I. I use Complete 13 for most of my virtual instruments when I'm making music, and the fact that this effortlessly controls them all is indispensable. I also have the Akai MPK Mini Mark III. My first keyboard was the Mark I, then I had the Mark II, and now I'm up to the Mark III. I use this keyboard mainly for travel, but I do use the pads for sampling and drum patterns.
For my monitor, I have just let me turn it on. I have just a basic Samsung HD monitor. It's 1080p, Probably not color accurate, nothing fancy, but it gives me a larger screen and it does the job. And my color grades usually don't look too bad. I mean, I guess you could be the judge of that. Let's see, then we have my chair. That's probably the last thing in the setup. This is just an Amazon gaming chair I bought. It was like 80 bucks and this is my second one. I actually sold the first one for $60 and then Amazon sent me another one on accident. So I really got it for 20 bucks. But yeah, just a cheap gaming chair, surprisingly comfortable, and it allows me to invest money in other places versus buying like an Erman Miller that's $1,000.
And that's it for my creative setup. I understand that I'm very fortunate not only for the gear I have, but to have a space to use it. I'm someone who without a dedicated space can feel very uninspired, and although sharing a one-bedroom apartment with my girlfriend who also works from home presents some challenges, I'm very happy to have a dedicated space where I can sit down and do my best creative work. If you made it to the end of this video, I'd like to say thank you, and also if you have any ideas of videos you would like to see now that I'm in New York, please leave those down in the comments below as I'd love to check them out. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.